Is it still there, right? They may have moved out on that end. Not sure.
They probably still have one to go.
Yeah, they got one on this side, yeah. To lay the new loading up chunks of steel. That'd be a while before new steel. Hey, Tori.
Hello.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Peter. Hey. Then we got Lynette.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. We don't have, Linda's not here tonight. We'll have enough for quorum to approve our meeting minutes from the last meeting. A little bit lighter agenda tonight. Yeah, might be a quicker meeting. Tori, would you mind putting up the meeting minutes from last time? Thank you.
Apologize, Bradley. I'm gonna have to ask you to get back up to give me permission. Do you see the agenda now?
Okay, yeah, I can see it. So we have after we approve the meeting minutes, we have the usual updates from Peter, especially related to the indirect discharge permit. And curious to see if we had any thoughts from the program there, DEC, for the permit, where we're at with that, keeping in mind our potential late April date that we set at the last meeting in order for our construction to proceed this spring, and how that relates regarding the project bid proposals and everything else. Quick update from this school board easement. And yeah, as I said there, the permit approval, public review, RFP, procurement, bids, construction. Linda's not here about that Oakson deposit that we talked about last time. Maybe Peter has some news on that. And then any updates on the right-of-ways and partial releases. All right. Anything else, folks, that want to add to that? Tori, would you mind putting the meeting minutes back up again? Sorry. Everybody get a chance to look at that. Thoughts, comments, questions? Motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Sure. Second. Bradley. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Right, we approve the meeting minutes. Peter, I guess we'll turn the floor over to you. Peter, maybe could you start with the school board and the easement and at the last meeting, we mentioned that they would have to make a motion to approve, and what kind of, I don't know if you had any follow-up discussions with Elliot or
Yep.
their meeting is tomorrow.
They made a motion at the last meeting to approve the easement. And Elliot, and we also had a little bit of a back and forth with Elliot about the idea that at some point we'd like to go back to them and discuss sort of some more detailed items about the MOU between the town and the school and various operational things, and potentially some precautionary measures that might get built into the program. So their meeting tomorrow night apparently is over in Hardwick, like a joint meeting, and so Elliot suggested that April probably made sense for us to join them. So I thought that was good news on them agreeing to sign the easement. It's kind of in my court to help facilitate that. I figured I'd get David Paulo coordinating with Elliot and make sure he's the right person to sign and make that happen. Honestly, I've kind of just been holding back a little bit, waiting for some of the review from DEC to come through on our indirect discharge permit application. So that's where we are at the school board.
So April will give us a little bit more time to get that additional information from DEC and direct discharge permit.
Exactly. Yep.
And you don't sense that he won't sign for any reason, right?
No, it seemed like that's kind of all set and decent. Yeah.
Now, so is the MOU would happen, it's not part of the easement, it would happen after the easement is
Correct.
finalized?
Yep. Correct, yeah. Yep.
So there might be some back and forth on the MOU.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that we can get the easement signed before we even go back before the board in the next couple of weeks, hopefully.
So then the meeting in April will really be to talk more about the MOU than the easement.
Yeah, that and just kind of give some overall general updates about where we are and when construction is going to happen and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think they're going to be tied up with the school budget that was rejected.
I'm sure then.
When
will the revote be?
Early April or?
I'm in April, I think.
Yeah, we're not sure. I think it's like early to mid-April.
Okay. So
Things
hopefully by next meeting they're through that.
I'm pretty sure it's before their next meet, before their April.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see how we want to slice and dice this. Peter, maybe can you just give us a kind of the 30,000-foot view of any back and forth on the indirect discharge permit and the hydro geo report, which was their center concern.
Yeah.
And and if you have any rough timelines from them.
I do, yeah. Yesterday I had a relatively brief conversation with Nate Kai, who runs the indirect discharge program. He and Ashawak and Bruce Douglas, who runs the drinking water and groundwater protection division, the wastewater arm of that. He indicated that they've all reviewed the report, and we've scheduled a meeting for this Thursday to kind of go through some of their questions and concerns. And so Amy, myself, and Jeff Hoffer are all going to meet with the three of them on Thursday. So, so that was all good news. I know prior to that meeting getting set up, they were kind of slated to release some of their sorry, it's like surprisingly loud background noise here. It's a little distracting. I might have to move conference rooms if it keeps up. So that is kind of our, I think from our critical path perspective, getting them through their review is probably the most important thing that needs to be happening. And I was pretty encouraged based on my preliminary conversations with Nate and the fact that we were going to have a meeting to discuss things this week. So we'll see how that goes.
And so that's specifically about the hydro geo report, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And how about the rest of the permit application? How does that stand? Is this like the one thing that may be holding things up?
I think this is probably the biggest piece in terms of like them getting through their review. Lynette and Ashawak and myself have been reviewing our plan set as we move forward, and Ashawak's had several opportunities to comment and give feedback. So that's not to say she's not going to have other things that we need to work on or tweak, but overall, I think this is probably the most time-consuming part of their review. So I can't speak for them in terms of like once we get past this, how much more time they'll need, but yeah, it's moving forward at least. And I guess I'll just share with the crew that kind of thanks to the Lamoille County Planning Commission and their team, they've been, certainly kind of helping to apply pressure and make sure that everyone understands how critical the time frame is, in terms of keeping this project going. So,
is there the possibility that we might get this permit issued in April so we can start meeting the procurement and issues and the public notices, public review process, and the bid proposal package and everything that we talked about? And we're looking at, I think we said late April as ideal in order to keeping in mind the school closure and doing the construction. How are we doing in that regard?
I guess I don't want to speak for DC, but I from my perspective, that's still in the realm of possibilities and reasonable outcome of it all. I don't know if Lynette, who also gets to be on the inside of DC a bit more, has anything to add.
I don't. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
It's all good.
Lynette and Tori and LCPC, I thank you for reinforcing how important this is, the timeline, and that we're working with, and the school construction issues, schedules that we have to deal with. Peter, anything on the 111 or Act 250 amendment permits that were?
Yes, I've heard from Susan Baird at Act 250. I think she's kind of curious just how the other permits are doing because their approvals based on obtaining these other permits. The 1111, we've gotten some recent feedback. We are considering a slightly different orientation around the bridge on School Street, just in terms of where the directional drilling and road crossings are. But other than that, most of the comments and requested changes from V-Trans have been pretty straightforward. And then lastly, we are just about ready to submit for the construction general permit, which is a permit for erosion control.
With the stormwater program.
With the stormwater program, yep.
And what's the timeline for that? And
It's a low risk project ranking, and because of the amount of total impervious, we have to present a phasing plan. But because it's low risk, I anticipate that moving pretty quickly.
So other than the indirect discharge permit, everything else is going well as far as all the other permits, and nothing stopping this from going forward other than the closer look at the indirect discharge permit.
Yep.
That's great. Did you have anything else to share, Peter, on the update front?
I don't think so. I guess the only other item is other easements, and it sounds like we're down to just a couple at this point. So that's good news.
Teacher came in between our last meeting and this meeting. I stopped by and knocked on Bordeaux's door, and the son answered, I guess Michelle's son, and I emphasized the sense of urgency in getting her to come in and sign, and he said that he would convey that to her. He was going to call her up. I haven't heard if she has come in, so that was last week and a half ago that I knocked on the door. So I think
we haven't heard that either. So that's suggesting it probably didn't happen.
Okay. But you got Tetros, right?
We got Tetros. Yep.
Okay.
We heard about that one. Yep.
So
let me just see what Alex said. Yeah. The Jennifer Fair with the ex-husband who moved away.
Australia.
And Bordeaux were the two he had.
And then MSI waiting to the very end or whatever.
Yeah, right. MSI, yeah.
So if we so I don't know what's going to happen with the there and the Australian complication, but maybe we can get MSI after Bordeaux comes in. Maybe they can sign and get that going.
Yeah, that sounds good. Maybe when I reach out to David about MSI or about the school, I'll bring up MSI also and say that we're kind of down to the last scragglers.
That'd be great. Just looking at some of the things we talked about at our last meeting to see where we were. So I forgot how we were going to try to resolve this Burgess last landowner and how it's just very complicated when dealing with another country. But I
don't have any words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Sounds like an interesting one.
So can you just walk us through, so we have to wait, can we just do a little refresher conversation? New timeline, we're mid-March here. We talked about late April to try to get, we talked about simultaneously having the public comment period and doing the procurement and the RFP for the construction bids. So how does that look on your end? Are those, will we be ready to do all that simultaneously as soon as we get the green light on the indirect discharge permit, or is there like a lag time?
No, I think that we're still in the same place. I think I'm kind of excited to have the conversations this week and understand kind of where we are with the indirect discharge team. One thing that Amy and I kind of realized that we were thinking a little bit strategically on, and I'm not sure if Lynette has any thoughts on this, but I guess our understanding on the 30-day public comment period is that in theory, somebody could wait till the 30th day and then request a hearing. And Amy and I were kind of wondering if strategically maybe we just schedule one and not wait for someone to request one. Is that a strategy, Lynette, that as far as you know might work?
Some other communities have considered that, and it just didn't fit well, I think, with the program. So if that's, you should probably talk to them more about it.
The other communities?
No,
Oh,
the
like the
program.
construction folks?
No, Nate and Ashwag.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds good.
So this is you're talking about the public review for the indirect discharge permit?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, and there's a public review for the construction permit too? The construction general permit?
I think there is a 15 or a 30-day period for that too, but that I don't think that could request a hearing or anything.
And you'll look into whether to proactively have a hearing, and if you did want to have a hearing, it'd be some point anywhere within that 30-day period, or would it have to be after?
That was our thought, yeah. But I now at this point I'm interested to hear what the direct discharge folks think about that.
If you wanted to go that route, could we piggyback it on our wastewater meeting?
Yeah, probably. Yep.
Okay.
I
So
think
that would be
the best
So
way
that
to
would
do it.
be probably May then.
Probably May, correct. Yep.
Okay. Peter, can you just go over the Oakson deposit and
Oh, yeah.
that discussion and with
Sure.
the town?
I had a good conversation with Rob over at Oakson. He kind of worked up an invoice of sorts, which quite frankly I haven't had a chance to review. But my thought was once I have this conversation with indirect discharge folks and kind of get a sense of how those things are going, I would try to get that invoice on to Linda and hopefully get that process so that he can start ordering some of the longer lead time pumps and whatnot that we need.
That's 50,000, is that what you discussed?
That's the fifth. Yep, exactly.
And but that would come out of our grant, or that would be the town expenditure?
It would both. It would be a town expenditure that is reimbursable under the grant.
And the timing of that would be before the final issuance of the indirect discharge, but if you had a sense that we were going to get it, and then you would try to get that 50,000.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Sorry, just looking at last month's notes, I think. So we talked about, we got the wetland permit already, the SHPO was approved, right?
That's one thing that we haven't talked about, that is worth talking about. The FONSI, the finding of no significant impact, was just issued from DEC, correct, Lynette, in the last couple of days?
Yes.
So now that has been issued, the Northern Borders Regional Commission can concur with that FONSI. So it's now sort of in their court to approve it.
Northern Borders,
Northern Borders, right? Yeah.
but that has nothing to do with the SHPO though, right?
It does. It's a little related because the SHPO is part of that environmental review.
Okay.
So the SHPO stuff is all rolled into it and kind of settled at this point.
Yeah. So we did get their final sign off, and it's attached like by link and what Chloe sent out. So I think we're done with their office for now.
Anything else, Peter?
I think that covers most of it. Oh no, there is one important thing that we've also been working on. So I don't know how much we've talked about the bats and the tree surveys and things we've done. Essentially, there are some regulations that we don't want to cut down trees that could potentially be bat habitat during don't know I know all the right terminology, but they're sort of nesting season.
Yeah.
So we've been coordinating with Linda and the land trust that is sort of overseeing the easement with the town to have hopefully a few of the road crew cut and drop a few of the trees that need to come down on the slopes heading up to the school for the force main.
And you mean now, this time of
Yeah.
year?
I think April 1st, or I think it's April 1st, but maybe April 15th is like the deadline. So we're trying to get that done ahead of time so that we don't have to worry about that.
We might need to prompt Linda a little bit with that. That's coming right up here.
Yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape, but yeah, we'll make sure it's all moving forward and happening.
Okay. So it's mostly just going up the hill to the school where the trees would have to be cut, not along the road or.
Exactly. Yep.
Any thoughts for Peter, comments, questions in the room? Sorry.
Peter, would it be appropriate for LCPC to attend your meeting Thursday?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, not that I care, but I was hoping that some of the DEC folks from the geology department would be a part of that meeting. And Nate kind of was pretty clear that he just wanted it to be the three of the indirect discharge folks and us.
Okay.
So.
Peter, can you do us a favor? Can you shoot us an email after that meeting and just let us know how that went?
Sure. Yep.
Appreciate it.
And I suspect I'll be talking to Tori or Seth too, because that's usually the way it goes.
Tori, do we have anything on the grant funding reimbursement side? How's our manhole grant looking? So Bradley and I did man the table for a town meeting, and we did look at wastewater, with the manhole design. We did the Wolcott Arts Collaborative, and what else did we do, Bradley? We did Cuff Cemetery. It was a multifaceted table. I don't know if we had any takers on the manhole cover design. No. But we talked to a few different people about various things that we were facilitating that day. Anything on the grant frontage, Tori?
No big updates. I'm happy to chat more with you and Bradley about the manhole coverings.
Sure. We're flying right through the meeting agenda here. Tori, did we cover everything? I just want to double check on the agenda. Just next meeting is normally scheduled for the 21st. There's a good chance I'm going to be not here, out of town for that. Not 100% positive, but there's a high likelihood.
Yeah, that is our kids' spring break too. So it wouldn't be good for me, because even if I'm working, a 5 o'clock meeting isn't great when they're off.
Yep. I know Linda's not here, but I don't know if we can circulate some alternative dates the week before, the week after.
I would suggest we should do the week before if possible. It just feels like now we're kind of getting into critical timing on a lot of things, and
school board meeting too is the next day.
Right.
Would be because
Wednesday is the first day of the month.
Right. So that might be good. It would be good to meet on the 14th.
Yeah. That'll be a fun week for me then.
Yeah.
I have it keeps working out that I have a senior management meeting that goes till 5. We usually run over, but it's been lining up with this meeting a lot. We meet every other week, so it looks like it's going to happen again, which is fine. But
do we want to try to start a little bit later?
No, I think that's fine. I think the 14th at 5 that works just fine.
I'm just gonna quickly check the room schedule here.
Bradley, you didn't say anything about my beard. I'm surprised.
Been thinking about it.
Last week, we should have had a meeting last week because I had my transition to no beard. I had a handlebar mustache.
Very nice. It's like it.
The family was ready for it to go. So
Hey, they're coming back in style, I guess. Well, to send Linda a note about shifting our meeting. Folks in the room, does that work? 14th? Well, good for you. A week earlier next month.
Well, let's see why not.
Seems to work for folks here. Lynette, I don't know if that works for you and Tori.
Works for me.
The 14th, you said?
Yeah, so it'd be a week earlier.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then, so Peter, that would really give us a sense. I don't know if we might need to meet before that. If do we need to communicate before you launch? If we're talking about the public meeting, the public review process, and the procurement and bids, and can we cover that on the 14th, or do we need to talk about that before? Because that seems like that would be a big push after we get the indirect discharge permit.
Yeah, I think the 14th will probably be okay.
Okay.
If anything comes up that I need to give a more immediate update, I'll reach out.
Okay.
As we transition into construction, we'll have a construction engineer from our group that is working with this project, and I will have to step back.
Oh,
So
wow, Lynette.
I'm so sorry. I
I
can't
didn't
do
really process
everything.
that. I know.
So your construction engineer is Cindy Parks. She's been with us for quite a while. And so I have forwarded this meeting series to her. But if you guys need her to be somewhere, you should definitely reach out in advance.
Would she be attending our meeting, Lynette?
She'll attend regular construction project meetings. I think it'd be good for her to at least get introduced to you guys initially, but I don't know that unless you ask her to, that she would be involved in non like contractor related meetings.
Okay. No, if she doesn't need to be there, that's fine. Yeah. Appreciate it. Any last thoughts, comments, questions? It's daylight till after 7 these days, so that's exciting. Actually have time after you go home.
Super exciting.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Adjourn.
Bye.
Right?
Yeah, I know. Like a 45-minute meeting. Good job. Oh, we have to talk. I'll send you an email tomorrow, Tori,
Okay.
about the park.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.